Hey guys, it's Sarah and welcome to another video. I am going to talk a little bit about creating full sticker sheets today using your Cricut, as well as the little hack I have so that you can use an entire full page. Now, in order to do this, you're going to need to set your sticker sheet up in a certain way so that you've got essentially two layers that are going to go into the Cricut software, but you're actually going to print the full complete sheet out of your printer. Now there's multiple ways to do this. You could use Cricut, you could use Procreate, or you could use the software that I'm going to use today, which is Affinity Designer. I really like Affinity Designer because it lets me do some things in vector format so that I get really nice clean lines, but it also lets me bring in my stickers that I have drawn in Procreate. So this is the document that I'm going to show you how I created real quick in Affinity Designer. I will also leave a link to a template that I created that you can use as well if you want a bit of a head start with this software. This is really great software. Like Procreate, it is a one-time purchase, so there's no subscription, and it's really very powerful. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to kind of zoom in on the sticker sheet that I'm going to be creating. So what I have here is essentially two layers that I've created. One is the background layer, and then one is the layer with the stickers. And I will show you here in my layers menu. Tap and kind of open up my group here. I should say this is the group I'm working with. I had them renumbered. I guess I don't. So this is the group that I'm working with. And what I have here, if you can see, is I've got this separated out into two different layers. This layer contains all of my stickers. And then this layer here is my frame for my sticker sheet. And this is pretty easy to make. This is actually just a couple layers of text and then a rounded rectangle that I created, and then clipped a smaller rectangle and a little bit of texture so that I've got this little border here. So if I slide in, you'll see it's got a little texture that I've added on, that I've clipped to this pink rectangle, and then this pink rectangle in turn has been clipped to a bigger rectangle. So if I pull that off, there you go. So sort of a double clipping. This rectangle also has a little bit of a border to it, which makes things easy to control and change just using colors. For instance, if I wanted maybe this to be black, I could easily change that without having to do too much work. So that's kind of what I like about Affinity Designer. And all of these lines are nice and clean. So I have essentially my background of my sticker sheet. And then what I've done is I have gone in and added all of my stickers onto the sheet. I just essentially kind of import them using the place function, which you can find here under the menu and place. It's very easy to do. You tap the one that you want. I'll show you real quick. So for instance, let me grab one from photos. I'll just tap in. And it'll pop up here, and then it'll enable you to just sort of drag and drop the shape in. That's how you do it. And you'll notice when I do this that it's got a little bit of a border to it. And that is because I have this set up so that this layer has a special effect on it. And that is an outline. And what that does is that enables me to give a little extra space around my stickers for cutting. And I can set that outline to whatever color I want. So for instance, if maybe I want it to match the background rather than be white, which I'm thinking I want to do, I can tap and match it. And you can't see it at the moment because the background is the same color. But if I were to go, I'm going to delete out my extra sticker real quick. You can see it's right here. And if I turn the background on, it kind of disappears. So this is a nice little feature so that I've got the ability to control the borders of the stickers, and it's going to be a nice clean border. It's not going to be pixelated, which sometimes you can get if you add the border, for instance, using one of the blur techniques in Procreate. So that's something I really, really like about this feature. So all of the stickers I have set up so that I've got this layer option so that I can easily tap and fix these really quick. And it just kind of makes things nice and neat. Okay, Now I've done like I did in the past. I have the registration marks set up, which I have set up here in guides. This is my registration marks, and these are important to help Canva recognize the size of this document, which is 8.5 by 11, a letter size piece of paper. You could also, if you have your template set up to be an A4 piece of paper, this works the same way. And then I also have an additional line, if you can see, that I set up to help make sure I kind of stay within the border, because I do know that when I go to print this 100%, I'll get a little bit of cutoff. So that's part of the reason for the squares as well, as it helps me with those guides. But I want to try and keep everything within my red rectangle. So, but then when I go to print, I turn that off. So everything at this point is ready to be printed. So I will need to export out 3 different files. The first one is going to be what I'm going to send to my printer, what's going to be printed and put in Cricut. And that is this entire document the way it is like this, with the stickers and the background. And I just easily go again to my menu, I tap export, I send it out as a PNG. And then when I go to export it, I'll give it a file name. Usually I call it grocery, so for instance, this paper, or this, so for instance, this sticker set's called grocery shop. So I'll usually say grocery shop dot, and then I'll label it usually full sheet. So I know it's the one to be printed, and then I'll send it out. What I also need to do then is export out the background and the sticker one. So I will go in and just really quickly turn off all of my stickers. There we go. And I'm going to export this background out. So again, using the same method, export, name the document. And again, I usually do grocery shop BG, so I know it's the background, hit OK, and I export it out. Then I need to do one more layer, and that is where I turn off the background, but I have the stickers enabled. So once more, I export this out, but I usually name this grocery shop dot stickers, and then I export it out. So now I have 3 formats sent to my computer, or for that matter, you could even do this on the Cricut app. It works the exact same way, but all of this is set up so that it is ready to go into Cricut. So I'm going to take this over to my computer and I'm going to show you where we go from here, okay? Before I go over into Cricut, I am going to take a moment and get my sticker sheet printed. Talked a little bit before about how I use just the simple preview function in my Mac software. And as I said, I've opened up my print sheet or my full sticker sheet, and this is all ready to go. So what I need to do is just set it to print. And then I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to load some presets. I have sticker paper set up, so it kind of loads everything. I've got it set so rear tray, photo matte paper, best quality, which is what I use to get the best print settings on my printer. And I'm using my Epson ET8550. That's the printer I have. And this one's called Pigment because I have 2. I have one for sublimation and I have one for regular printing. So I'm going to make sure it goes to the right printer. And then all I really need to do is down here in scale is I need to make sure that this is set at 100%. This makes sure that this document prints at its complete 100% size. That way, when I go to send it over and cut it using my Cricut machine, it's going to be the exact size that I need it to be, and there's not going to be any confusion. Yes, people have the option to use the borderless function, but I find that this does not give very good results. I feel like it skews the document, and I would rather use the standard US letter function, knowing that it's got a little bit of a margin on it, and I accommodate for that by making sure I stay within my registration marks, which are set to be little 1/4 inch squares. So I know that I've got a little bit of leeway there. All right, so I'm going to send this to print. I'll get a copy printed on sticker paper, and then I will take it over and show you guys how I cut it using the Cricut Design Space. So now we're over here in Cricut, and I'm going to show you guys how I get this set up. So the first thing you'll need to do, obviously, create a new document, and you're going to upload a couple of these sticker sheets. I will go ahead and show you. I'm going to drag in, I'm going to go to my folder with my grocery shop stickers, and I'm going to start by bringing in my background. Bring this in. Click continue, And everything comes in nice and neat. Don't have to worry about the background remover. And I'm going to bring this in as a flat graphic. Comes in. There we go. We got this. And it's always going to come in way bigger than it needs to be. So I just make sure I adjust it to the correct height. 8.5 by 11. So now I'm going to repeat the process and bring in my stickers. So go upload, go in here, grab my stickers, and they come in. Again, hit continue. Everything should look good. Once more, I bring it in as a flat graphic. Upload, let it take a moment to bring them in. This is how you know you uploaded high quality stickers, when it takes a moment for it to upload. There we go. And they came in with that same matching color border. I'll take a minute, adjust the size, and there we have it. Now I have just a few things that I need to do to set this up so that we're ready to go. The first thing I need to do is make sure that I am on the right mat size. So I'm going to go up here into my settings and make sure that under load type, I've got the correct mat size. I'm going to need my 12 by 24 mat with my print then cut page size being a tabloid at 11 by 17. Then I'm going to need to take the grocery background and I'm going to duplicate it twice. Now, the reasoning for doing that is the fact that I have my settings set up so that when I go and do my cutting, I get a nice kiss cut with 1 layer of pressure and I get a die cut with 3 passes of that same level of pressure. That's going to take a little bit of calibrating your machine and figuring out what the exact pressure number is, but I have that set up so that it's easy to do when I get this effect. So what I need to do first though is I need to select all of these and I need to align them. I need them all centered. Quick, easy to do, everything lines up. It looks like one whole document. You can't tell there's anything else. And then one final step is I go down here and I click attach. That way it's all in one item and it isn't going to try and want to split these out onto different mats. Now that that's done, all we need to do is go to make and send it to my Cricut. So here we've got that 11 by 17 tabloid sheet of paper that I've created my jig out of. I've also shown how to do this where you're using just the cut files, but I find, at least for my Cricut, I'm getting better results with alignment if I still use the little jig that I have set up. So I just take my document and I always snap it to the upper left corner because I'm convinced that this movement around will always get changed by Cricut, and I know if I snap it into the upper left corner, everything will always be in the same position and it'll match my jig. So everything's snapped up there and I am ready to click continue, let it find my machine. And at this point, I've already gone and printed the sheet I need, so I can click I've already printed. And I just need to wait for it to connect to my Explore Air. Now, as you can see, I have created 2 materials here. One is for kiss cut and one is for die cut. I am going to use the kiss cut feature because I know that I want it to kiss cut the stickers, which is just 1 pass, versus my die cut, which will do the same setting as this, except it's 3 layers. So I'm going to use my kiss cut. I'm going to set the default pressure to any adjustments that I need to make based on how my blade's acting, and then go ahead and load the machine. So let's see how this turns out. So as you can see, this is my jig that I like to use, and I have it cut down so that it fits on a 12 by 12 mat. It does not actually matter if you use a 12 by 12 mat or 12 by 24. I use my 12 by 12. And then I've got the stickers that I've printed. I use kind of a vinyl paper because I get really vivid results and they turn out nice and they're a little sturdier. And I'm just going to go ahead and place it here in the jig, lining things up. All nice and smooth. And then I also do an added layer of self-adhesive laminate. What's really nice about being able to use a full-size sheet of paper is that I can use almost the entire sheet of self-adhesive laminate. So this one is just by HTV Ront, and it works just as well as the Avery one. My only complaint is that the Avery has a nice little self-starting border that you can peel off. So with HTV Ront, I usually have to kind of fold to get myself a bit of a starter. But after that, it is really just a matter of lining it up. And then I just simply pull. All right. And then this goes into the machine and I get it cut. So there you have it, how to make a complete sticker sheet using my full cut sticker sheet method. Now, like I said before, this design technique, doing the 2 different layers and exporting them out and then a full sheet for printing, it can be done with multiple software. You could do this in Photoshop, you could do this in Procreate, you could even do this in Canva. I opted to use Affinity Designer because I like the ability to bring in my pixel-based stickers and create the vector-based background for clean lines. But any software should work as long as you use that same import method into the Cricut space. Now, to make things a little easier for you guys, if you want to use the Affinity software, I am going to include a link to a blank template that you can use to pull your stickers in, as well as the background that you can kind of color and choose whatever cool design you want to make. I hope this was really helpful for you guys. If you can, click the like button as well as the subscribe button. If you have any other questions, please feel free to leave a comment below. And I really hope you guys enjoyed this content. Thanks for watching. Bye.